What is going on? So I'm just making a video today about the in-depth price action of the New York session of July 10th, basically from like 9:30 to 11. So I'm going to try and be quick about this and just give you guys the run of it. Going into the day, I either wanted us to sweep into this 30-minute, grab these highs and come back lower and grab this low resistance liquidity, or I wanted us to maybe grab this low resistance liquidity down here and go higher. My overall target was previous day high. It aligned with ES, since ES also had these highs that it wanted to grab the other day, but it failed to. Retraced. We're delivering from a 4-hour here, and we're going back for those highs. So that is personally my thought process going into the day. I wasn't really looking for shorts. Obviously, there was a short scenario where we grabbed these highs on ES, and then we grabbed, these highs here, and then we went lower. But the main thing I was looking for was for ES and NQ both to grab these lows and then go higher to the internal liquidity in the previous day high. I was so confident in longs, not only because ES was delivering from a 4-hour, ES is in an uptrend, NQ is neutral, so it's not necessarily bearish, but we really have no liquidity to grab below. This is a protected low on the 5 and 15 minute, and then which is on ES and NQ. And obviously we're delivering from a 4-hour on ES, so there was nothing here for us to deliver to or from. So mainly the protected low is the biggest thing where I was like, hey, we're probably not going to come back and touch that. So that was my thought process going into the day, and I'll kind of show you how I played it out. Like I said, I'm mainly looking for longs, but I set the condition of if we go here, we short. If we go down here, we long. Okay, so I'm just going to start playing it out from, let's see, this is 9:28. And I'm watching this 1-minute inversion. I'm like, okay, well, we broke that. We just kind of pushed. We grabbed this 30 minutes. And now I'm like, okay, we're either going to gun past this or go or reverse. That was my thought process. I was immediately thinking short. Okay, because we grabbed this internal liquidity. We don't necessarily have to grab this. We can come back down. But we did break structure on the 5-minute here. So I was like, okay, I don't love shorts because that break of structure on the 5-minute, because this 5-minute closes right there. And that's something I look for a lot as well. Dude, my computer's so laggy, holy shit. We broke structure on the 5-minute right here. Technically right here. But, now we're in an uptrend on the 5-minute. Okay, so now you can see we grabbed these highs here. We're showing rejection on both ES and NQ. We grabbed those highs I was looking for us to target. So you can think, okay, now I'm looking for short based off of everything I said. Okay. I know that we have a massive SMT, but I also know that we do want to grab the previous day high as well because we have the protected low. So that's still my draw. That's still a draw for me. But I am thinking short because we now have a lot of low resistance below. Okay, because I'm not going to be stuck on a bias. If, these are very strong draws and I can see us getting there, but we don't have to go there right now. We have a massive SMT. There's no reason for us to go there right now. Okay. So I'm looking for shorts, and we have a 4-minute, and we also have a 5-minute. And I'm waiting for us to get that inversion, and I would have entered. Okay, why would I have entered? Well, yes, my draws are up there, and I don't like having draws on my stop loss, but I didn't really care because we had low resistance liquidity down here, and we just swept liquidity up there, and we would have got a very good entry. So on this model, let's say this did close, then this would be, you'd have a liquidity sweep, you'd have a high time frame inefficiency. We don't know if it would have had displacement. Let's just say it did have displacement through that inversion, and we had the clear draw, which is the low resistance, the data wick, and then this low as well. The only thing this didn't align with was the high time frame context, because high time frame context was pushing us higher because ES was delivering from a 4-hour, and ES is an uptrend. So we also made a new high here. The high time frame context is still bullish, but that doesn't mean I can't get in a trade. A lot of people, some people took this 3-minute. Some people took a 30-second inversion up here because there was a tiny 30-second, and they shorted down, and ideally I think they all pretty much went break even because nobody took profit. They just waited for this data wick to get touched, which is valid, but also like you should be taking your take profits, right? Take profit at the fucking this, if you did, because I know a lot of people took this 30-second. If you're not taking profit 90 points in and you're waiting for like 119 or nothing, like I think that's stupid. So I'm susceptible to that as well, but that's kind of stupid. You should probably learn how to, have TP1s and TP2s just to secure some profit in case this does happen. Okay? So I couldn't look for shorts. A lot of people did. I don't take 30 seconds and I wait for the highest time frame inversion. This 3-minute closed. So this looks like a great short opportunity. Right? You take this, boom. And you just target the low resistance because we still have a lot of low resistance. So this is a valid short. But it's not a valid short because we have a 4-minute that didn't close and we also have a 5-minute that didn't close. Same thing on ES, right? Even though I'm looking for shorts up here, we didn't break this 5-minute, right? We're currently respecting it. So would I have gotten shorts there? Yes, because that is my model. However, we didn't close the highest time frame inversion in the leg. That's a rule of mine. Like I cannot enter before the highest time frame inversion in that manipulation leg gets inversed. I just can't do it. And thank God because I would have entered on that 3-minute due to emotion. And now I'm thinking, okay, we're still in an uptrend on the 5-minute. We're actually now delivering from a 5-minute on NQ and ES. And now I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're going to look for longs because I really like the previous day high and the internal liquidity up here. The fact that we're delivering from the 5-minute on top of all the high time frame bullish context. And if we inversed this 3-minute here, then I'm entering long. Right? Because you can see there was some short opportunities here in terms of the 30-second. That was the only short opportunity. The 3-minute is not a good trade at all, if I'm being completely honest. If you took that, I would really recommend switching to the highest time frame inversion in the leg, regardless of your emotions and your confidence. Unless you're like you have great discretion and it makes sense RR wise. This would not have made sense RR wise at all. Regardless of the fact that it's the main thing that you needed to close didn't close, this is a stupid stop loss. So that was a terrible trade. The only valid trade there was the 30-second short. Nothing else made sense at all. But just to go back on track here, I am now looking for longs out of this 3-minute. What happens? We get displacement through this 3-minute. So let's just go to my model checklist here. We delivered from this 30-minute, so now this 30-minute is honestly irrelevant because we already delivered from it, got the 930 wick, and now we're reversing V shape out of that. So here on my checklist, I did take this long. We did actually have a high time frame inefficiency. We did have a liquidity sweep as well. We did have displacement. We did have the high time frame inversion, which is the 3-minute. We had clear draws. We had an SMT as well, and we had the high time frame context. Excuse me. And that was the trade. This was my break even. So I hesitated a little bit. I entered right because I waited a second just to see how we'd react off this 1-minute. Reacted pretty bullishly. We didn't even touch it. So I'm like, fuck it. This is a good trade. This meets my model criteria. I'm just gonna enter. So I entered after a bit of hesitation, went pretty much immediately break even. That actually hit my break even point right there. No, it didn't, sorry. Which one did? Oh yeah, no, that did. So I was basically in it for like 2 minutes. This was my TP1 and then this was my TP2. So I got stopped by a tick and I was like, fuck. It's a good break even. I'm not mad at the break even. I shouldn't have hesitated, because if you didn't hesitate, your entry would be somewhere down here. You wouldn't have gone break even as quickly. But regardless, the trade would have stopped me out, and I would have break even because we accumulated for a while. So now, break even on that trade. That was a good trade, like I said, A++. And we're obviously in an accumulation level. So what I'm expecting is us to either manipulate down. Sorry, let me just not get ahead of myself here. Excuse me. My God. I'm burping up Zin. It's gross. And obviously, NQ or ES is just moving like dog shit. But we did close that 3 minute on ES. That's why I entered as well, because we closed the 3 minute here. This would have been my break even. There was not great targets for ES, but I didn't care because I was confident in the overall direction of NQ. So that was a good trade. Stop break even. And then I believe on the 5 minute here, we have a very small fair value gap. So I'm obviously monitoring that. I'm monitoring the 5 minute fair value gap we have now, because right now I can't really do anything. I'm looking for a continuation pattern out of this 5 minute, or a reversal out of this previous day high. Accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution to whichever other side. Okay. I couldn't short anywhere here because we're delivering off of a 5 minute. Okay, and I couldn't really long anywhere here because I didn't get any good entry. So what happens? We start to get a bit of manipulation. So now at the moment I was thinking, if this inverses, I'm going to short and target this low resistance liquidity. Or this will be a continuation pattern back to previous day high. So obviously this is also the consequent encroachment. So this is the 50% level of the leg. So that is a bullish factor as well. So now the highest time frame inversion in this leg was, I believe, the 3 minute. Or no, sorry. It ended up being this 5 minute. So let's just color these so it's a little bit easier. So here, let's go back a couple candles. So we're delivering from a 5 minute, but we're respecting a bearish 5 minute. Right? So obviously, right now I'm not going to do anything, because if I go short, it'll have to be after this 5 minute breaks. And then that would be great, because we break a 5 minute, we're delivering from a 5 minute. I would probably take that. And if I wanted to go long, then it's the same thing. I'm delivering from a 5 minute and I inverse the 5 minute, so I'd go long, right? It's that simple. But obviously, until either of those things happen, I'm not taking the trade. So let's look on the 1 minute. And then honestly, this is just my thought process at the time. I was thinking short. I was pretty confident that, look, this is showing a lot of bearish reactions. Yes, we did manipulate here. Do we want to go here? I'm not too sure. But if we got this 1 minute and we're delivering from a 5 minute, I would just enter that and basically pre-fire this 5 minute inversion. That was my thought process at the time. I honestly didn't think about it enough to know for sure if I would have done that, because the next couple candles, like, we just get a fucking ridiculous candle and take out all of this liquidity. Get another one there. Boom. And so now, I don't feel confident about shorting. We just got so much liquidity, right? And this is another thing. These are now irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Because one, we delivered from this 5 minute. In this 5 minute, we did close, right? We end up closing this. So that was obviously a bearish confluence, but at the same time, I didn't really care, because I knew that this is a data wick, right? This wasn't normal price action that just carried us lower. So I didn't really feel too confident about using that as a indicator of that we're bearish, especially just because we grabbed so much liquidity. So I just feel like that trumps it due to all that volume that could have, you know, stopped out anywhere. So it doesn't matter that it closed the 5 minute just because of the massive volume and the fact that we sweeped out a shit ton of liquidity. So that trumps that. So now I'm kind of looking for longs, honestly. I told myself, I'm like, fuck this. I'm getting off the charts. What is this shit? But then we have a 2 minute here, which I was like, hey, if we break this 2 minute, I would like that and I would take that because now I'm very confident in the previous day high. I know we wanted that. We got a shit ton of liquidity to now take us there. Super confident in the previous day high. This is now a protected low as well on the 5 minute, right? It's a rejection block. So, you know, I'm now thinking long. That's just my thought process. You know, people are gonna. I hope people are in the comments saying like, no, it was like this. Like, you know, you saw it that way, but this is the way I saw it. We're rejecting off this 2 minute, and then you know, we kind of just chop around. We never even close this. We do close the 2 minute, but like nothing noteworthy. And then we just kind of dump. We just kind of continue to dump. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I was getting off the chart to this point, but if we do want to go higher, it'd be nice for us to grab this low resistance liquidity and then end up pushing a little bit higher. So what happens? We go on the 5 minute here. And now we have a 5 minute open. Okay, same thing on ES. We have a 5 minute. That took one more candle to close. But it did end up closing on this candle. And what you could have done here, because if you look closely on the 1 minute, we have a little stop hunt. We have a liquidity sweep. We don't really have an inefficiency. On ES, we are respecting a 5 minute BPR right here. Just got sidetracked there. Right, we're respecting that 5 minute BPR pretty well. So you could say there's a high time frame inefficiency. We have the liquidity sweep, high time frame inefficiency. We have protected low. We have the 5 minute inversion on both ES and NQ. We do have the high time frame context with the previous day high here. All this liquidity swept. We're delivering from a 4 hour on ES. We have displacement through basically both of the inversions. And then you basically just, you know, let's go on the 1 minute here. And then you obviously want to target, you could just target that high. It's for 100 points. This is your break even. And then, you know, you basically just bank. I hesitated on this, you know, because it sounds so clear in hindsight, but I did hesitate. It was so late in the day. I wasn't sure how prices were going to react after we got all this news. Maybe we were going to chop around for a bit. But I didn't enter. Kind of annoying. Could have targeted previous day high. We don't touch that there. I think we come down all the way here, then we reverse and then get the previous day high. Exactly. But you could have just taken profit here, which is what I would have done. I think this was the best trade of the day, personally. I know some people longed around this level when we were trying to break the 5 minute on NQ. When we were trying to break here, I think people took like a 1 minute inversion, but we didn't break the 5 minute, so that trade really had no like strong confirmation as of yet. And then they got fucked. So I think the only two trades that were valid were the 30-second, the 3 minute, and also this 5 minute. I don't think any other trade was valid with this model. You know, go over it and let me know if you took something different. But I don't use 30 seconds, so I'm sure there was probably some 15 seconds and 30 seconds. But, you know, other than that, I don't think there was anything else. Okay. So that's just my thought process on the day for this model. How I played it. It was just a break-even day. This was a good trade, ended up going break even. That's all good. And then this trade was just due to a little hesitation. And yeah, so that's how I played it. If you guys have any questions, let me know what trade you took, if you took any, if you even trade this model, let me know. I'm going to do more videos like this because I think it just helps me get a better understanding of the day and then my decision making process and shit like that, just to make me a better trader. And hopefully this can make, someone out there a better trader as well. Yeah, so I'm going to end it there, and then until Monday, because it's a Friday.